All right, welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. In a previous video, I introduced you to the brand new Gibson Victory. It's really kind of a reimagined Gibson Victory based on the early 80s model. Today, I'm following up with the figured top version, full gloss finish. I'm gonna tell you everything you need to know about this version of the Victory. This is the figured top Victory at $24.99. I'll put it on the bench and pull it apart. Of course, I'll plug it in and play it. Stick with me to the end. I'll give you my raw, honest reaction to playing both versions and tell you which one I liked more. One more thing, if you haven't hit subscribe yet, hit subscribe. We're giving away an American-made Martin D28 acoustic guitar when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To win that guitar, make sure you hit subscribe now if you haven't, turn on notifications, and sign up via Gleam. All that's down below. All right, let me just remind you, I'll show you the non-figured top. This has got a satin nitro finish. I love the color on this. It's like a sparkle. And I'll tell you what, the satin finish is the neck and the body, and this is a slim piece of mahogany without a maple cap. So in comparison, now let's take a look at the figured version. Check that out, Iguana Burst, green. It's a AA figured maple cap on a mahogany body. It's actually pretty cool. Because of the body beveling, you actually get this exaggerated kind of fault line here between the mahogany body and the maple cap, which I actually think looks really cool, particularly with the full gloss nitro finish. Other than the fact that this guitar has a figured maple top on top of that mahogany body, it's essentially the same as the other version. Primary difference again is gloss nitro finish on this versus satin finish on the other. There is a $500 price difference. This is at $24.99. So you really got to want that full gloss finish and that maple top with that flamed look, which is beautiful. I will certainly give it that. Other than that, we've actually got the longer scale length. This is Fender scale length at 25.5 inches. Beautiful ebony board with a compound radius, so it gets flatter as you get up. And with 24 frets and this double cutaway, it's nice to have a nice flat fretboard to play in the highest registers of this guitar. Great set of 80s tribute humbuckers. These sound fantastic, as they did in the last demo. And then you get this suite of coil splitting options, and not only coil splitting via the volume, but you choose which side of the coil you want via the push-pull on the tone. And then other than that, simple three-way toggle. So just a really exciting guitar, because I think while it doesn't exactly resemble the original, it even has a different headstock. I actually prefer the Explorer headstock on this. What they did is resurrect this body style and shape, give you access all the way up to that 24th fret on this guitar. The original only had 22. And just put together something unique and nicely modern from Gibson. So I'm excited to see this kind of super strat in the lineup, and that longer scale length makes a difference too. Let's go pull the strings out of the way and get some measurements before we plug this one in. All right, starting up at the top, we got this Explorer style headstock, mother of pearl Gibson logo. You got these mini 6-on-a-side Grover tuners. Full gloss finish on this mahogany neck. We'll get a measurement on the neck in a second. Binding as well on an ebony fretboard, acrylic dot inlays. I love how they're kind of offset. 24 frets on this guitar, and like I said, it is also a compound radius, so it gets flatter as you go up. This deep double cutaway gives you full access to the 24th fret. And then check it out, you've got this maple top, AA flamed, so you can get some nice flame in the light here. And this is that kind of fault line I was telling you about, or this, this border where the beveled mahogany body meets the maple top. And you have a fixed bridge. I could see a lot of arguments for including this guitar with a Floyd Rose, or offering this guitar with a Floyd Rose. From a tuning stability standpoint, from a playability standpoint, I actually prefer that they have the fixed bridge, but I definitely hear you all saying that you want either maybe a collar or a Floyd Rose on a guitar like this, especially since it's based on an early 80s super strat. So I get that. Gibson doesn't offer that yet. I wouldn't be surprised if they do at some point in the future. These humbuckers sound fantastic, 80s tribute. We'll get a reading on these again. And then like I said, push-pull, coil split, and push-pull, choose which side of the coil you want to engage while splitting, and simple three-way toggle. Let's get the strings out of the way and get some measurements. That comes in at 1.69 inches. First fret at a slimmer 0.81 inches, up to a 12th at 0.9 inches, so SlimTaper. Body thickness with that maple top comes in at 1.51 inches. Let's just do a quick comparison. I've got the satin finish mahogany version right here. 1.49 inches, 1.5 inches. Actually, it's about the same. So I guess then you have an even thinner piece of mahogany and the same overall thickness of the bodies on both models. This one just has that maple on top. All right, so you've got the same 5-ply pickguard. I will tell you, I think it was a missed opportunity. I think if you're gonna offer the flamed maple top, you should offer this model without the pickguard. However, as we learned last time, the controls are actually wired to the pickguard. So I think to keep things consistent, you just have that single body route, and then lifting up the control cavity cover, we can take a look at those taller push-pull pots. Everything hand wired underneath in the Gibson USA plant. Kind of cool though, if you see from this angle, you can really see this pronounced bump out of the maple on top of the mahogany. I can actually stick my finger underneath the maple top, which is unusual here. All right, let's flip up these humbuckers and take a look. You got the lead 80s in bridge position. You got the rhythm 80s in neck position, slightly long neck tenon to take the longer length of that neck on this thinner body. And then you can see that the maple cap is quite a bit thinner than you'd see on something like a Les Paul. I guess the one that comes to mind in the collection would be the SG Modern, which has a figured maple top on top of an SG. So in that way, it's probably a bit similar to that. All right, let's flip on the multimeter, get a reading on these pickups. We're at a hot 15.9 in bridge, 7.3 in neck, 5.0 combined. Then moving back to bridge, we can pull the volume. And we have a coil split, splitting the 8.1. Generally, you'll just see a halving of the value. 7.3 in the neck becomes 3.6 here. And then this outer switch won't have an effect on the multimeter, but if I am split and pull this, it's changing which side of the coil I'm using in my split. So that's actually pretty interesting. So I will show you the back since all the controls are on the front. Get a nice look at that just green gloss finish. And you do have this kind of beveled heel here as well. Super comfortable for playing. Let's go ahead and get a weight. 6 pounds, 15 ounces on this one. And then just for the heck of it, so we'll call that 6.9 pounds. This one comes in at 6.9 pounds. So they are exactly the same weight. And flipping this around, I'll remind you, if you're in the market for either Victory or any gear, click to buy new gear using our link. You'll find that pinned in the comments or down in the description. It helps us make these demos, but you get fast free shipping and easy payment plans. If you're buying a Gibson, it makes it a lot easier with these payment plans. So check that out down below. Let's give a listen unplugged. Good, strong, mellow ring to it. Comfortable neck. Really nice. This is my favorite part. Of course, we're going to plug it in now. I'll show you clean tones. We'll dirty it up, let it scream behind the track. On the other side, stick with me. I will give you my honest reaction playing this one. We'll talk differences and maybe my preference between this and the satin finish version of the Victory. And we'll talk about it on the other side. Drop a comment as we go. I'll see you there for my final score. Let's get plugged in. All right, what'd you think? You stuck it to the end, so I'll give you my honest reaction. I'm playing this beautiful gloss Iguana Burst finish with this maple cap. And the question is, at $24.99 versus $19.99 on the satin finish, and mine in gold mist over my shoulder, which I absolutely love, is it worth the extra 500 bucks? Well, you can see the sound test that we did, you can listen to the performances, you can watch both videos, and you can decide and drop a comment, but I'll tell you what I think. I based my final score for a guitar on 3 main categories: overall playability, overall sound, overall value. When it came to playability on this guitar, I've got to tell you the truth. I think I preferred the satin finish on this one. This one had maybe slightly wider neck. I can feel it right here at the 15th fret. It's like when I slide my hand up, there's a little bit of thickness or a wider feel of the neck that slowed me down a little bit as I got up here. And that gloss nitro, I mean, even as I rub my hand on it now, does have a little bit more of a stick to it. I got a little spoiled, I think, in that I played the satin one first. I've got to tell you the truth, I think I prefer the satin. Now that said, in a typical full gloss nitro feel way, there's no problems with this one. I think just because I've played both, I probably prefer the satin. Overall playability, I still don't like the switches. Trying to have so many options for switching and yet have to reach across the body and down to grab these switches, it's just hard to do. It's just cumbersome and hard to do. I don't like that layout. So for those reasons, I'm gonna give this version, I'm gonna go ahead and give it an 8.4 on overall playability. When it comes to overall sound, I am a big fan of the 80s tribute humbuckers. I've got to tell you, for whatever reason, at least hearing it fresh here in the room as I played, I didn't have the same airiness or voice out of the maple top version. So I think, again, I'm going to put a check mark in the box if I think I preferred the all mahogany satin finish. Whatever components came together on that one, I think it just sounded a little bit better to my ear. This one didn't sound bad, and again, I love the pickups. But the question here is are you getting anything additive for having the maple top and this gloss finish and all that for 500 bucks? Overall sounds, I got nothing to complain about. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.0 on overall sounds. These are powerful, great sounding humbuckers with lots of splitting options. Probably more splitting options than I need personally, but that's what it is. Other kind of playability and sound note I'll make is it doesn't have a trem. A guitar like this does kind of feel like it wants to have a trem, but at least it's a little bit more stable with tuning. And it is very easy to get all the way to the top of the fretboard, with the exception of, like I said, at the 15th fret on this one, I had a little bit of trouble getting higher because of the neck shape. It's like a little bump out there. Anyways, talking value, at extra $500, it's basically the same except for the gloss nitro finish and the maple cap. In my opinion, I'm going to steer you towards the satin finish. I love that gold mist. You can check out all the finish options for both guitars using our link. That's here or down below, pinned in the comments in the description. If you are buying any gear, click to buy that gear using our link. It really helps. But when it comes to overall value, they have a beautiful hardshell case that's molded, kind of custom fitted for this guitar. And it does look and feel generally fantastic with the few exceptions where I pointed out. Because it's $500 extra for probably, in my opinion, not an extra $500 worth of stuff, I will go ahead and give it an 8.4 on overall value. That is going to bring us to a final score for the figured top Victory of
8.6.
8.6. Kind of a solid B, but gosh, Zach, I'll have to check my score on the other one. Hopefully, hopefully this one didn't beat it out, because I'm just going to be honest with you. Wherever these both scored, this one should come slightly behind the satin finish at $19.99. It's a better value, it's better sounding, better feeling, in my opinion. Watch that video here, it's linked. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you're buying any gear, click our link and hit subscribe if you haven't. Be in it to win it with that Martin giveaway. Beautiful acoustic guitar. I'll see you on the next video from Plain Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera. See you next time. Thanks for hanging out.